Hey guys,
welcome.
Cody here.
Ethan.
Yeah. We are doing a 200th episode giveaway.
Yes.
So you have from 195 to episode 200 to enter this giveaway. So to start off, we have from XOP, one of our partners. We have all of our partners put stuff in this. XOP, they put in a Cold World stand, X2s, J-hooks, and a Gamma Pack, which this setup of your own. The Gamma Pack is on the back here, but you're gonna get a full mobile hunting setup from XOP.
You are getting a $200 trail camera from Bow Creek Outdoors, and it looks like the Bow Creek BC48.
Yes.
36 megapixel trail camera.
Yep. And then you're getting Scent Thief. Ethan, you have the Scent Thief. It is the Hunter Pack.
Right
so
here.
This is like your complete setup. It has your field spray, your shampoo, your refill for your field spray, and your wafers to hang on the tree. This thing works. And this is your favorite, Ethan. Forget Genetics.
Forget Genetics. Barry was very fortunate, very nice, and let me basically pick what I wanted to send you guys.
Yep.
And I think a nice bag of persimmon pops is going to be perfect. Everything likes it. If you have private property, there's a key.
And then you have Our Grounds Coffee Company, one of our other partners. You're going to get 3 bags of coffee. He has 3 different types of coffee, and you're going to get all 3 of those bags.
And it is delicious.
Yeah, and then on top of that, you're going to get some new stickers that he has out. From us, you're going to get a sweatshirt or a hoodie of your choice. We're going to send it directly to you. Maybe an invite to deer camp.
I think that's a good idea.
Follow these guys on Instagram. Make sure you're following us, and you'll be entered to win this awesome giveaway. I mean, pretty much, you're going to be set up to be a pure mobile hunter. Just want to thank you guys for following along for 200 some episodes to our dumbasses. Really appreciate it. And here's to another
200.
One more episode.
Another one, just one.
Perfect. Thanks, guys.
Like we talked about in part 1, we're going to be doing this part 2, reviewing the first ever episode of Grit, where you met Alex and all the Latitude guys pretty much almost for the first time in Nebraska. So it was pretty cool to hear about that. And then now we're going to watch it, and you're going to pretty much just break down everything we talked about in the first episode in this one here. As long as Google Meet cooperates and actually...
Well, you know what's the perfect irony of all this is this not working is exactly how this first episode went.
I finally got it to work. I can see your face now. It was just black. It was a black screen. I was like, oh my gosh, tell me about this.
Technical difficulties and not knowing what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's exactly what
you go into it thinking, I know everything that I'm doing. Like, I came out here, I was like, I don't have to test it out because it worked before. Why do I have to test it out?
Yeah.
And this is why. Like, I don't... Sometimes you can't explain this shit. You can't. All right, so I'm going to share my window now and let you see the YouTube video. Unfortunately, Derek can't hear it, but the listeners can, and he said he's fine with that. So we're going to dive into this.
One day, this marketing guy named Corey told us our content sucked. So we decided to hire him.
Oh, no.
Living off gas station pizza.
it says. Click to exit full screen.
Then he told us we needed someone to film and
there you
produce
go.
the content, and that's when we
Now I see
hired
it.
Derek.
Okay.
I don't know if we're going to survive. Alex, I'm sorry if we don't get to you today.
See, my partners and I are obsessive whitetail hunters, and that's why we started this business. But we're passionate about the product, and to be honest, we couldn't care less about the marketing stuff. We did see value in sharing how we test product, though. So we agreed to try this content thing as long as it didn't interfere with how we like to hunt.
Be careful.
And this is the story of how that went.
All right, so walk us through the 5 W's for the intro right there.
Yeah, so a lot of that is with the audio there. I'm sure I can't remember the exact words, but that Alex said, but it was VO driven. We definitely identified who was in it, who was there, where we were going, the weather, when, and why is essentially there because we're going to shoot deer.
Yeah.
But like I said before, Alex's VO plugs that in, and then we edit to his VO.
Mm-hmm.
That goes with kind of what I said earlier in the first part of this, right? I posted that video today about pulling information out of people.
Yeah.
that information from the hunter, and then it's our job to visually tell that information without just relying on his voice. Because we're just relying on his voice, and it's just a podcast.
Yeah.
So it's visually explaining that, and we are at a point now going into season 2 where we're visually showing that without him having to even do that.
Okay.
With the words. But that's kind of how we got to that intro. We knew it was the first episode of the first season. We really wanted to highlight everyone involved in the time, because everyone in the company is highlighted at that time. We've added people since to the company, but at that time, that was it. That's who you're looking at.
Wow. So the 5 W's, I guess I should ask in the first one, but the 5 W's, so that was always, when did that kind of click?
So I heard, that's not mine, by the way.
Yeah.
I heard, what the hell's his last name? Caleb from Copeland Creative.
Okay.
I used to listen to their podcast. They've always had a really good informative video.
Yeah.
Like how to video podcast. I listen to them every now and then.
Redneck Tech, right?
Yes.
Yes. Yep.
There are outlets for that stuff. I used to listen to them, but they were more towards the TV side of things when they first started out, and I didn't really understand any of that.
Yeah.
But they did say that, and that always stuck with me, that 5 W's thing.
Okay.
And it's kind of natural to me now that I just do it every day when I wake up and on a hunt. That's the first thing I do. Like, what are we doing? Where are we at? What's the weather? What happened yesterday? Like, just the basic going through everything.
Okay. All right, cool. That's cool to hear where that came from, because I didn't hear that yet. And I listened to Redneck Tech here and there, just because I'm getting into self-filming last year and this year now. So the 5 W's is very helpful, I think.
It's just little details you take from anyone who talks, and just pay attention.
Yeah.
Something will resonate with someone, it doesn't resonate with someone else.
Absolutely.
So that stuck with me.
Yeah. So let's get into this next part here. You tell me when to stop, all right?
Sounds good.
August rolled around and we all needed some time in the tree. So we decided to find the earliest openers we could, throw a dart at the map, and just go for it. We were headed to an unfamiliar place. We had no intel and no experience hunting in this environment.
Oh, YouTube commercial.
I know that I'm in.
You might have to fill me in. What's the VO saying?
Saying that it is now.
It's funny because we barely knew Corey and Derek at this
God,
point.
now
I
one
don't
pause.
want to know it. Yep.
You know where we're at now?
Yeah, he's talking about just we didn't know each other and stuff.
Yep. And I think he said in there about how, like, or he will be saying soon about if you were in hell, this is where it would be, because it's so hot. Yeah.
And their first day on the job was at a campsite in the middle of nowhere that was hundreds of miles from home. But they embraced it. Also in camp with us were our good friends Andrew and Thomas. Andrew hunted with me, and Thomas teamed up with Corey. And honestly, we didn't care if this trip was a total failure, because it was an opportunity for growth. With that being said, our low expectations became reality a little quicker than expected.
Is it rubbing? Or does that
You
sound
can pause it
okay?
right here, honestly. So this is the first time ever that me and Al went out, just me and him. And well, that's a good buddy there. And we were talking about the microphones earlier, first part. So that was true. Like I had no idea what I was doing there with the mics. He's asking me if it's good, and I'm just like, yes, that's good. First time I've ever used a wireless mic in my life. I was doing it for my career on the first day of the job with Alex, who has no idea about it either.
Right.
So that was a pretty nerve-wracking part, and this is the first time I've ever hunted public like this, so I don't know what they're about to do.
Yeah.
They're going to go scout, obviously, but I don't really know what that entails to the way they, I just grew up hunting private land and some public there. But at this point, this is a total oh crap moment. Like, all right, we're getting in it now.
Yeah, I'm sure like the growing pains were hard in this first ever episode, right? Like the first time ever really doing this professionally now. And it's like, geez, like now I got to go, they're going to go scout, and it's a camping trip, and it's like, Wow. That's thrown off the deep end, kind of.
Hard for them too, because
Yeah.
they've never had a camera guy.
Yeah.
Alex, Jake, and Kev have been best friends since college, so
Mhm.
like, they've known each other their whole lives. Like they don't know me, and now they just got this guy. They've always just hunted like this by themselves.
Yeah.
Now they just got this guy throwing a camera in their face. So I think it was just that's what was so cool about it. So we grew together.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they grew on how to be in front of the camera, and I grew how to be behind the camera all at the same time, and that's
Right.
I think it's a pretty cool dynamic between me and Al specifically.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll see if we get anything coming out of there and win. So, all right, let's keep moving. How do we get this mic off?
And if you took a hunting trip to hell, I imagine it would feel a lot like this. It was hot, it was dry, and there were ticks everywhere. My partners, Kev and Jake, spent the week hunting hard, but ultimately came up empty-handed.
Yeah, there's a bunch of poison ivy. That's a good one. Your access is terrible. It's kind of at an intersection of this and this. There's so many hiding spots up here.
That's the next spot. Blow out of here.
Dude, what the is going on? Those kids already came here.
Gonna have to bleep that out.
You could pause that there. So this is pretty cool. So that was me filming them too.
Okay.
So I was the only camera guy on the whole trip.
You were.
Hold on. I don't want to cut anybody out. Yeah, I was. I was the only camera guy on the whole trip for all these guys.
Jeez.
Corey and his buddy Thomas
Yeah.
self-filmed.
Uh-huh.
But that's Kevin Leach and Jake Metallic, two other owners on the manufacturing side of the company. And so, like, we didn't know how to do this. So, like, I filmed Al a couple days, and it was like, all right, well, I guess just go film them a day. So I was like, I don't know them at all. Like, I know Alex a little bit. I don't know them at all.
Right.
So, like, I'm trying to bounce between these two guys. Like, it was just looking back, it's so good that I did that because I got to, like, the hardest possible way to learn how to do something. I had to do it my first day.
Yeah.
It's just work with two guys. Like, I don't know any of these guys like this. It's brutal. It's hot. And I learned who Jake Metallic was very fast.
Yeah.
And he's the top-notch guy. He's hilarious. He's so fun to hunt with because he's so loose and just likes to have a really good time.
Right.
And it's funny because him and Kevin work together in the office every day. So they're always like butting heads and laughing with each other. And it was pretty cool to be a part of that dynamic. And feel like I was a part of the team here. I really enjoyed this part.
And it kind of gets their personality put on camera too.
Yeah. Yeah. Jake's a natural on camera. I got to say it. I'm very impressed with him.
Yeah.
He's the same guy on camera as he is off camera. There's not a single difference.
That's what you want, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And Corey and Thomas ran into some issues of their own.
The truck broke down, so I guess we're gonna maybe get towed. And of course, it was right after Thomas thought he found where this buck was, and now it's gonna be a pain to hunt this afternoon. So we're gonna try to figure that out.
As for me, it seemed like what could go wrong did go wrong. So our plan was to cover as much ground as possible.
Real quick before we go. So that's Corey. I didn't really talk about him too much. So Corey's our marketing director. He played a really big role in me getting the job with Latitude. I talked about the first part. So he had a show called Hunting Junkies.
Okay.
On YouTube, and personally, that I know personally as a friend, Corey was probably one of the best filmers I've ever met.
Okay.
If you ever check out his YouTube channel, they're still out there, his older videos before he started working here. The Hunting Junkies, he had some really good bucks that he's killed out in Cincinnati. But I met him at ATA the year I met Alex because Latitude was sponsoring his show. And we hit it off. And I remember we went to the film festival that year, and we sit next to each other. I looked over to him. We said, dude, one day we're going to do something good together.
Yeah.
That was it. Didn't see him for a year and a half. Never talked to him again. Really, like Instagram DM here and there.
Yeah.
And then when I got the job at Latitude, he's the one who called me and interviewed me.
Wow.
And that's how I got the Yeah, so that goes back to you never know who's going to change your life, so just be humble with everyone you meet.
Absolutely.
I said that in there for Corey, and he's an excellent bow hunter too, and he's out here with me in Ohio, so I get to see him a little more than I see these fellas.
Yeah.
But glad to have him.
Cool, man. That's a cool story.
Scouted early in the day, set up some cameras, and glassed in the evenings.
It's a heck of a bed right there, right at the top of this drainage. Corn, soybeans, drainage, west wind. Doesn't get more textbook than that. Look at that. Southwest wind. Right now we got a north. We're gonna all be bedded right on this edge on the southwest wind. We gotta just sit this.
But as the week went on, our efforts started to seem pointless. Eventually, desperation set in that led to a blind stalk into the only swamp we'd seen for miles.
Oh, I want to stop this real quick before we get into this.
Yeah.
So before that, like, you see how excited he is finding all these spots and stuff. We never hunted that area. We never hunted that. But like me, I'm like, all right, this is it. He's excited. We found it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like, that's how it took me to learn that Alex is so animated and excited about it. He just loves being in the woods. So now I could tell when he's really serious about something or when he's just excited.
Right.
Like, at that point, I'm like, I guess that looks cool. I don't know what a west wind does. I don't pay attention. I didn't know. I was a normal PA guy. I didn't pay attention to any of this stuff. Like, west wind, I guess. All right, I guess that's how it works. And then so they're from the swamp in Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's where they farm a lot. So we're driving. He's like, and he has his trad bow in the car. And he's like, there's a swamp over there. I'm gonna go push it. And I'm like, yeah, you go. In my head, I'm like, there's no way he's gonna see a deer. It's like 3 o'clock in the afternoon. It's 105 degrees. I'm like, I'm just gonna go on the other side and film when you come out.
Right.
And my luck, this is filmed with a cell phone. He's seen the deer, so he pulls his cell phone out, and I wasn't with him. And I learned my lesson. My first trip is always be with Alex because he knows where the deer are.
Yeah.
He doesn't always kill them. Most of the time we don't kill them, but he always has these crazy things happening to him like you're about to see. So I'm not actually with him right here. I'm on the outside of this thicket.
Yeah.
I have no idea what's happening.
You just see him walking up with the phone.
This scene where he's just walking up like all upset. I'm like, God, he shot at something, didn't he? Damn it. I'm like, all right, I'm getting fired. Lost my job. That's
First day. First day.
Yeah.
That's great. Oh, YouTube commercial. Same one again.
That I'm in.
First bush I checked, buck. Scraping, rubbing his antlers. Oh. Yeah, I got it all on camera. This is why I missed, but you know, I didn't realize it when I took the shot. I did this, and the air just boom. But he was small, so it's probably not the end of the world.
Being from Michigan, I guess the swamp was comforting. And surprisingly, it almost worked. But poor execution led to another failure. This was progress, though. But just as momentum was starting to shift in our favor, the next obstacle presented itself. That evening, I lost my release.
I gotta go see if I can find that. I bet it's right at the base of my tree. It might even be in between those two seats, too, if I forgot to take it off. Something you'll learn about me. I have constant issues like this. Lose the release, drop this, drop that. Well, let's hope this goes okay.
The funny thing is, like, he's talking to you, but really it's like he's talking to all the viewers as well when he says that.
Yeah, and see that comes with the asking questions. Like, I'm asking questions a lot in that situation.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I grew up watching hunting shows on Sportsman Channel, so like I'm like, dude, this guy's losing his freaking release. Like, what is going on here? So like when I went into this not knowing this was going to be our style, like I didn't know how these guys hunted. Like I thought these guys, like, they own a hunting company, they have to be like dead serious all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I went in with that motto, and then as this trip went on, this is like 3 days, 4 days in, it just skipped forward in the video.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize that these guys are real dudes. Like, they're funny, cool dudes. Like, all right, I'm going to film like that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
I'm going to film. I wouldn't normally film this. Like, I didn't think this is what you film. I thought you throw this out.
Mm-hmm.
And you want a guy look like he knows what he's doing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Alex really appreciated that because I didn't know we'd ever use this, but he really appreciated the fact that I captured this side of him.
Yeah.
It's really relatable. Like, this is the guy that owns Latitude Outdoors, which is, it's, you know, and it really just tells who we are as a group, that, you know, we make mistakes. But Alex, I got to tell you, he loves going in blind. That dude can look at Onyx all day long,
Mm-hmm.
but he goes in. He doesn't scout. I mean, he scouts a little bit, but we just go in. And it's an adventure. Like, I don't know what I'm going to see. But then he loses his release, and this happens constantly. I joke with him all the time. I call it he suffers from forgetfulness.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a disease at the Latitude HQ where Alex is always forgetting something.
Yeah.
So it's pretty funny.
That goes back to you filming everything. Like, you film literally everything. That's how you were able to get this stuff. Like, if you weren't filming everything, you probably wouldn't have got this.
Well, because in the past, like the old days of hunting films, like this part wouldn't be filmed.
Yeah.
They wouldn't show this. They wouldn't want to show this.
Absolutely not. No.
Wouldn't, especially if you worked with like a release company or something, like back in the day, like all your partnerships.
Yeah.
You couldn't show this. And it's good. Like, part of film, I learned I filmed so much on this trip because I wanted to film everything.
Yeah.
My camera overheated.
Really?
I tell Al, we can't do nothing real quick. My camera has to cool down. I literally got the red bar on there and said, your camera needs to cool down.
Oh, my gosh.
I was just burning. I just record the whole time.
Wow.
See that, boys? Glad we came to shoot the bow. .40. We're good. We'll be good. That evening, the wind finally flipped. So, backup release in hand, we headed into a spot we had been waiting all week to hunt. It's supposed to be a northeast wind. I'm just worried that it's going to get pulled down that drainage. Let's just get as high as we can up there and hope we can blow over it, I guess. So a couple days ago was actually the first day we were here. We were scouting some properties to the east of here, and as we were driving to camp, we saw this odd-looking crop that we've never seen before, and apparently it's called sorghum. And someone at camp corrected me. I guess the locals call it Milo, so whatever that means. But apparently the deer like it. We were driving by. We decided we should walk the edge of it just to see if they were eating it. It looked good. We've got a trail camera right down there on the edge of this cedar ditch. On that second day, we had a really nice buck come out in velvet. He's now hard-horned, and now we just need him to come out tonight. We should get a shot at him, even though we're in a really wonky tree. It should be a good night. The temp drop 10 degrees.
So I'll pause it right there. Yep. Oh, when he's done talking, I didn't know if he's done talking.
Did you know that in Texas, rifles
so
can be
another
carried in...
part of this that was like really nerve-wracking for me going into it is I didn't really saddle hunt too much.
Yeah.
Like, I worked with Latitude, I saddle hunted a little bit, but not like these guys. And I'm like, all right, like, I'm about to hunt with the guys who invented the Latitude saddle.
Yeah.
I'm not going to know what the hell I'm doing.
Right.
So, like, getting in a tree with them, I was nervous as hell. Like, I was going to be like, first hunt ever with them was a morning hunt in the dark.
Okay.
I was like, oh, God, dude. I'm used to presets.
Yep.
Like, all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was great. I just want to hats off to them. I mean, Al was really helped me out with getting in the tree and set me up. And of course, our first hunt was in a state that has 0 trees.
Yep.
Besides those little messed up ones.
Uh-huh. Yeah, it's saddle hunting is definitely not for like the just going in blind kind of. Like, you got to practice with it. Like, I know that for a fact. Like, you got to practice. Like, but one thing that I don't like is that at trade shows, like, they feel good, like 2 inches off the ground, right? But then, like, you get up in a tree, and it's like, whoa, this is, You gotta
we
trust
just
your
talked
gear.
We were in Columbus. We just had a show last weekend, and me and Corey were, and we talked about it. We're like these guys come over and they want to try every saddle they say before they buy one. They say, but like they're all going to feel the same at the show.
Yeah. Yep.
Essentially, I mean, it's not something you just try a foot off the ground and you're like, this is one for me. I mean, some people do, I guess, but you really just play with them.
Yeah.
But like it was a trip of firsts. Like the first time, really, I saddle hunted a handful of times. I knew what I was doing when I did it by myself. First time filming these guys, first time hunting public land, first time hunting that far away from home.
Yeah.
We'll get to what I was gonna another first when he kills the deer that I can't believe worked, but we'll get to that when we get there. It was just a lot of firsts, and I thought I was like the outlier in this, but then it took me to realize that it was a lot of firsts for these guys too.
Wow.
So it's pretty cool.
Public without a license.
Now a commercial.
Whereas in Florida, no open carrying.
It starts right here.
The best hunters have a short memory. At least, that's what I tell myself when I screw up like this.
Heartbreaker, I really screwed that up. Wonky tree, which isn't an excuse, my bad. My backup release wasn't an excuse. He just didn't stop the deer. Little case of buck fever. First big buck of the year. Had a little window, I couldn't hear him, I couldn't see him. He told me there's a big buck coming in. I couldn't see him at all. As soon as I saw the antlers, he just started to move quicker. And I had a little tiny window that I could shoot through, and I just rushed it. So, nothing you can do about that. We just gotta go find another one, I guess.
On a positive note, we get to keep hunting. We had 2 days left. Plenty of time to make something happen.
About that hunt.
Yeah.
So that particular hunt was the first time I was using my Canon for everything else. And I got thrown a Sony for that evening, the first time in my life.
Yeah.
And the reason being is because we have this big lens that we needed out there for how flat it is out there. And I didn't have a big lens for my Canon, so I used Al's Sony.
Yeah.
So I didn't use the Sony before. The first time, just blind filming that hunt with a Sony.
Yeah.
You see a couple parts in that scene where I'm real tight on Alex's face because that's how big this thing is. Jeez. It's a what is this? I think it's a 200 or 150 to 500.
Yeah.
But that hunt, Al till this day will say it's not my fault because he's a good guy. That is 100% my fault that he didn't shoot that deer. Because I didn't communicate, and it goes back to the communication.
Right.
In the tree when you're on film, you need to communicate with your hunter.
Yeah.
Eventually, the deer that he does shoot, I seen the deer, but this deer, I seen that deer first. Al never seen that deer the whole time.
Oh, wow.
Until he jumped in front of us that quick, and I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I told Al there's a deer, and I never knew that he didn't see it. I should have been communicated. Now I'm like, okay, Al, pull back. Now I'm telling Al, pull back. Or like 50, I'm communicating. At that point, I didn't know, and I should have communicated it better. If I was able to tell him, all right, he's about to cross, like he's about to come in, like pull back. He could have shot that. So that was 100% my fault. And it was definitely a learning curve for me to communicate better with the hunter.
Yeah.
But that just, and it's not Al's fault at all.
Right.
But he didn't, that goes with his lack of having camera guy too, is he didn't ask me, like, where's he at or what's he doing? Just no communication there on both of our parts.
Absolutely, yeah.
That's growing pains.
Yeah, I mean, first time working together. I mean, it's there's going to be growing pains with that for sure.
But we had a deer on film. I thought it was the coolest thing. I was just happy we got a deer on film
in velvet too.
In velvet, I don't know how, because that was pretty late in the trip. We didn't really see many deer, so I was like, that really shocked me.
Yeah,
to see that my first deer like buck outside of like Pennsylvania, seeing like that.
See a velvet buck, yeah.
I've seen a velvet buck. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Had to keep moving.
I swear it didn't go this far. Well, down to 2 broadheads, so at least I got my follow-up shot.
And the next move was to a spot we intentionally didn't scout.
Keep stopping you, but
no, you're good.
Too much good stuff for someone's trying to get into this. That situation right there with him shooting his bow, I was nervous about that because it was a really bad day. He was shooting not good. He was shooting pretty bad. And, if I'm me and I'm shooting bad and I'm about to go hunting, I don't want someone putting a camera in my face. I'm going to go sit in the truck, get out of my face.
Yeah.
And Al did not do that. He's committed to what we're doing. And he made it. I think having me there actually calmed him down and kept it more loose. And he allowed me to film him. He didn't stop me, nothing. And I didn't know him. We didn't know each other. So he could have, you got to feel your gut. You got to feel, and there's a couple shots where you see where I'm far away in that scene, because I could see he was kind of getting a little heated because he was about to go on a hunt after a buck,
Yeah.
And he just missed one the day before. Now he can't hit the target. He's losing arrows. So I kind of backed away, filmed from afar.
Yeah.
And got what I had to get for the story. But that's just another thing right there. It's just, you got to learn who you're hunting with and know how far you can take it with them.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Yeah. You kind of like, it's kind of like reading the room in any situation. It's like,
if I'm with my buddies, and I'm like that, and they're just filming me and shit, I'm going to be like, dude, get away.
Yeah.
I'm throwing my bow in the woods. I'm getting pissed.
Yeah. Same.
You can't glass from the road, but it's set up perfect on the map. A spot we haven't touched that's worth going into blind.
This is beautiful in here. I think we gotta go out and around. Get on that side. I think they're gonna come right through this. Alright, it's the second to last night here in Nebraska. This is just another one of those drainage ditches coming off the sorghum. And it has another pond down at the bottom of it, so we're hoping that there's deer movement doing the same thing that buck was doing last night. And we're trying to intercept them in between the sorghum and the water. It feels good out here, and we'll see what happens tonight. Buck, I see him. That's 50 yards. Let's go, baby. It's 50 yards.
So you can stop it there. So if you heard 2 different marks there. I learned from the first deer, because his interview when he's walking, I can't hear it. I forgot when he's walking out, he's talking, he should have stopped the deer.
Yep.
So I listened to that, and then I knew I wasn't going to let him not stop that deer.
Yeah.
So he didn't stop it, and then I ended up stopping him. We stopped him at the same time, so we both hit him with the mirror.
Yeah.
So I learned from that mistake of not being involved in the hunt. Like, I'm more than just a camera. I'm here to help this happen. I'm here to get this going.
Yeah.
I'm here for him. So I'd helped him there, and then that I like killing a deer or shooting a deer on our first hunt like that. I think really is why we ended up being as good as we are together in the woods. Because that celebration right there was just, we don't know each other from Adam, and you would think we've been hunting for years.
Yeah.
How excited we were in the tree together. I think that was the point that right there that started everything for me. Continuing on doing what I'm doing, and I think Al would say the same thing.
Yeah, that was pretty cool to hear that both celebrating the harvest, like especially for like you said, like you literally pretty much just met, and you're celebrating together. Like, but then again, that comes back to the whole hunting side of things. Like I think we celebrate each other more than what is led on. Yeah,
and that like I felt like that was it. Where like I knew I wanted to film hunts, like do that, but it was where it solidified it for me. Like I want to do this for the rest of my life. Like I just killed that deer too. Yep. It wasn't, we did it as a team, and I always say I get to hunt. I get endless tags because I don't have to film them personally, but I get to see it happen.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
That's good blood, dude.
That's great blood. Oh.
Let's go get the boys. Tell them we think we got a dead deer.
Yeah. Nebraska made us work for this one, that's for sure. It's only the third deer I've shot at while we were here, so third time's a charm.
Well, what do we get here? He's thick with an icy pouring out.
Nice.
Oh, God, yes! Woo!
I only missed for a reason.
Well,
you did it.
Congratulations.
We still gotta find him. Here's blood.
That's good blood right there.
Oh my God.
Hey.
He looks like a freaking mule deer.
That's a good start.
Congratulations.
Oh, yeah. I can't believe he's in velvet.
Look at that shot, boys. I told you I had it in me.
One day, this marketing guy named Corey told us our content sucked. So we decided to hire him. Then we agreed to try this content thing as long as it didn't change who we are as hunters. I'm not sure if Corey's happy with how this turned out or if YouTube's algorithm will like it, but what I can tell you is this. Hunting has taught me that the experience is what matters most. It's taught me respect and appreciation, and it's taught me how to deal with failure. Sometimes it's hard to see, but hunting is important because it teaches us about life.
Rather than go.
Yes, so that I was really on. I was on cloud 9, seeing everyone so excited to see the footage on my camera that deer getting killed.
Yeah.
Like passing the camera around to show that, like I was really happy about that.
Yeah.
Especially because the night before, I didn't really show it, but I was really down on myself about that deer not getting killed because I thought it was my fault. So for him to be able to come in the next day, or I think it was the next night, be able to kill that deer, it meant a lot to have everyone there. And like I said, killing that deer with all of us there, first trip ever filming the Grit, first ever time all of us together on one roof or one place for that bonding to happen, I think really, it set the pace for where we're at now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, that was like probably like I watched it. Well, since you sent it to me, I watched it at least 4 more times. But I think before that, I watched like at least 2 times by itself. And like, it was like, it's that perfect video to start it off. Like, especially because you and Corey, like you and Corey, like knew each other. Like you said, you had that conversation at one show, and then like you're working together now. And it's like, you're working with Latitude guys who you were working with, but you weren't really talking to them. Like you weren't really like close with them. You weren't friends with them. You know, you were friends with them probably, but like you weren't talking to them on a daily basis. And now you're with these guys.
We didn't really talk.
Yeah.
We just worked together kind of.
Yeah. I mean, it's a great first episode for that whole thing. What is one thing you wish you would have added into that video? Like, is there something that you like, oh man, this is missing, but yet from an untrained eye, you wouldn't really see it?
There's a video. We didn't put it in there because we're very modest as a company and as a group, so we didn't really want to put it in there. We don't really flaunt or brag about ourselves too much. But there's a video of ATA that winter after that season where we won the best new product of the year award for the Carbon SS sticks.
Yeah.
Me and Corey are walking back to the hotel, and we've been drinking a little bit at the banquet there, and we were holding a trophy, and we did I have it on here. We did a blog style video, and we talked about, and we're just talking like, this time last year, January, this same show, we didn't know each other, and D-Rock said that we're gonna do something great together, and then he held up the award.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool. It was really cool moment. I watch that video quite often just to, reminisce.
Oh yeah.
But the story's there. The thing that there's a lot of things that aren't in there is how long we were actually there.
Mm-hmm.
We busted our ass and how hot it was, but we had to cut it down for time.
Yeah.
Range for being on Waypoint Television.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, that's the gist of the highlights. The rest was just sitting in the tree looking at nothing.
Cool, man. All right, so we have some listener or follower questions now, and we can just run through these quick, and then that's it, dude. That's it for the part 2.
Sounds good.
All right, so let's see here. May Lish, I believe that's your buddy Tyler, who was with Full Draw. He asks, what's the best camera for under $150 to start filming with?
Oh, that's Tyler. Can't even get a GoPro for under $150.
No, you can't.
No.
I think, there's that refurbished site. I looked at it a few times. You can get some cameras on there, GoPros 360 cams, but personally, I think the best thing to do is like we talked about the first part, is just get a camcorder. Like, just go buy like a cheap handy cam.
Budget $50. If that's seriously what someone's looking for, someone in that $100 range, just use your phone.
Yep.
And spend the money you'd buy on the 150 camera on a mount for your phone.
Yeah. Yep.
It's the same quality as the $150 camera.
Yep. I agree with that.
That's the best thing I can say for that.
Yeah. Justin, and we talked about this before the episode. How would you film with little ones running around or like something like that?
Film?
No. Edit. Like, how would you be more productive editing with little ones running around? How do you find time?
You got to do it at night.
Yeah. Yep.
You got to do it when everyone's asleep. My wife, she works from home too, so we have a dog, and she's always barking. She's a beagle, so anything that's in our property, she's barking at.
Yeah.
You just kind of got to put the headphones in, put the hood up, turn the lights off, and kind of go.
Yep.
The outside noise fade away.
Yep. Absolutely.
And honestly, it depends how old the little ones are. I don't have little ones yet, but if you're not doing it for a career and there's no like date to get it done, you're just doing it to do it for fun or your page or your buddies, involve your little ones in it. See, show them what you're doing.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what I might do here and there once she gets older and can do stuff, do that, especially scouting videos, all that kind of stuff, like involve her. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. This is from Next Step Outdoors. I believe his name is Aaron. I think I checked that. Yeah. Where do you get your inspiration both inside the industry and outside the industry?
Wow. Inspiration outside the industry would be more of a just make, like we talked about in the first part, just making people proud. I've been going to my deer camp for years, and I'm 31 and I'm the youngest guy there.
Yeah.
Most guys in his 80s, and I used to just go there and be part of the camp and just a regular PA hunter. Now when I go up there, they look at me like, I've had multiple times like, man, you did it, you did something with this.
Yeah.
We're proud. They all feel like they had a part in that.
Yeah.
In doing that, and my grandfather and everything, and the inspiration really comes from that text, from my grandfather or any of those guys. Like, hey, watched your video last night.
Yeah.
freaking awesome, good job. Or even if it's just an ad or something that got fed on their phone, like, I'll get a text, did you make this? You know, or something like that. Like, no, I didn't, but I filmed this. Oh man, it's sweet. And then that's the outside the industry. The inspiration inside the industry is honestly the guys I work with now.
Yeah.
Whether they're on the production side of the products or the marketing team with like Aaron, Bree, myself, and Alex, like everyone has the same amount of drive and passion. Like no one's lacking anywhere. Like, everyone has the same goal. There's never a point. I've been here for 2 years. There's never been a point where someone's been told like you got to pick it up.
Yeah.
Never has happened. Everyone's always on the same page all the time, and it just keeps you going. It keeps you constantly going. And me and Aaron are the guys behind the video and the editing of 99% of all this.
Yeah.
And me and him constantly just trying to outdo ourselves and feeding off each other. And I see a video that he does that I really like that inspires me to want to make a video. I make a video that inspires him to want to make a video. And that's it, man. It's just a little family here, and we all inspire each other.
Cool. Jody Breeden. I'm sorry if I mispronounce your last name. What editing software do you use? We talked about it, but I don't think we talked about it on air.
Yeah. I use DaVinci Resolve. I used a bunch of free, cheaper ones when I started out myself. And the same thing we talked about part one with the camera. You outgrow your camera with what your abilities are and what you understand. And I did that with my editing software.
Yeah.
And I took DaVinci, and that's another thing. I didn't know anything about it.
Nope.
I went from Filmora, if anyone knows what that is.
Yeah.
Full form of all that. It's not that easy, but it's simpler and it's cheaper.
Yep.
And then I upgraded to DaVinci, which is a really elaborate. It's like a Premiere Pro. There's a lot to it. There's a lot of stuff involved. And I took a course by Sam Colder. It's an internet course on how to do it. And I spent a month every day waking up for 9 or 10 hours a day, just drinking cups of coffee, just watching him edit and teach me how to do it.
Wow.
And it's all just educated myself. And I still educate myself today. I have Windows up on my computer right now on YouTube. There's always new people putting tricks out and stuff for DaVinci, whatever editing software you use, they have it. So if you're in color grading or anything, DaVinci's the best you can have for color grading. Hands down.
Yep.
And anyone will do that.
I use it, and it's.
I don't think you got to do it.
Yeah, it's free. It's free too. Well, the one I use is free. Yeah.
You get a free version that's essentially the same thing. I mean, there's very few things that I have on the paid version versus the free version.
Right. Yeah. We'll save Lanes for last. How much does it cost to have him edit a short film? From PA Bow Hunter. Like, would you edit someone else's film for a cost?
So I had trouble with that.
Yep.
I had a guy, I'm actually talking to him right now. His dad shot a buck, and it was like a buck of a lifetime for his dad. And he reached out to me to edit the film. He filmed it and everything, and he asked me how much, and I can't put a price on that. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it for free for him.
Wow.
But tell him to reach out to me.
Okay.
And see what he's got. I mean, if it's something that's, he really wants to tell, it's a good story, then I'll help him out with it. It might not happen overnight, but I'll see what I could do with it.
Cool, man. Cool. From Jake. I don't even want to try and pronounce his whatever else is on here. FLEISCH. Lens and camera setup for different filming situations.
Okay. So my main camera is a Sony A7S III. My main lens, hands down, 99% of the time is a Sony 24 to 240.
Okay.
24 gets you kind of those tights with the hunter, and the 240 and the timber is all you really need.
Okay.
We're not video, are we?
Just on YouTube, yeah.
Yeah, so this is a 24 to 240. This will This is my
Okay.
bread and butter. It's always on my camera, and it gets out to where you need it to go. But freehanding, it's not too much, so my hand's always shooting on it.
Yeah.
And then, we run a wide angle lens for our secondary. It's kind of like the quote unquote fisheye.
Yep.
That everyone talks about. So that's our
Okay. Yep.
secondary angle.
All right.
But if you're looking for a lens, for hunting, you just want one lens.
Yeah.
I would 24 to 240 in that range.
Okay. All right. Cool. So now Lane's question.
Yes.
How does it feel to be a Columbus Blue Jackets fan?
I get asked that.
I'm guessing that's a hockey question, right? Is it
Yeah, it's
hockey?
100%
All right.
hockey.
I don't watch hockey, so.
So I have season tickets to the Columbus Blue Jackets. And it's painful. It's very painful. You know why it's painful? It's because I used to be a Flyers fan. And I gave it up for an even shittier team.
That's
but
great.
see, that goes on with the wife thing. So if you're listening to this and you want to make the wife happy because you're hunting all the time, you got to do things together as a couple. And out in Ohio, we don't know anyone out here. So I was like, all right, well, Columbus is an hour from my house. She's never been to a hockey game. I took her to a hockey game. She loved it. Season tickets, we got the 15-game package. It's like $80 a month for like 8 months or something for 2 tickets.
Yep.
I was like, do that so we have a place to go.
Yep.
Like once a month or something, twice a month. And we fell in love with it. So now we go all the games. And Lane likes to bust my balls about that, even though he can't skate. But that's okay.
All right. I think we're going to start a little war here between you and Lane now.
So Lane, we were at ATA this year, and you don't watch hockey, but you know who Brad Marchand is?
I've heard of him. Yeah. Yep.
So we're at ATA. It's the last day. There's like an hour left, and he comes over to me. He's like, "D-Rock." He's like, "Brad Marchand's here." So
he told me this story.
I ran over to him, and he took a picture with him, and I took a picture with him.
Yeah.
It was hilarious.
Yeah,
Brad Marchand even said the same thing to me. I told him, I said, "I'm a Columbus Blue Jackets season ticket holder." He said, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And he's an NHL player for the Bruins, so I'm used to being asked that.
He told me, actually, when he was in the studio here, he told me the same exact story about it. Oh, man.
He's a good guy, man. I love him.
Yeah, he's awesome. Went down to Maryland with him. That was pretty fun. Hunting down there in bow drives. Yep. Going to do that next year, too. So
He's not far from you, is he?
no, he's like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Not far at all. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing him. I'll probably see him at he'll probably be at TAC or something.
Yeah, man. Well, all right. So that was part 2. We went over the film. We asked the hard hitting questions of the listeners. Where can people? Well, what would be your biggest tip to someone who's self filming or wants to maybe even like pursue a goal of filming hunters?
Yeah, I mean, if you're just in it for self filming, my biggest tip is don't be afraid to make mistakes. I got into that trap a lot, and I used to give this advice, which is ridiculous. I used to not shoot deer because they weren't on camera. And I wanted on camera. Do that. You have a deer in front of you that you want to kill, you kill it, whether the camera's on or not.
Yep.
Don't do that. If you're just, you got to learn. You'll learn mistakes. You're going to make mistakes. If you don't make mistakes, just like that video we just watched, I made a mistake day 2. By day 4, I figured it out.
Yep.
All right. I learned from my mistake. And
right.
That's how fast the learning curve can be if you allow yourself to make mistakes.
Yep.
And surround yourself with people that let you make mistakes without criticizing you for it. Just have fun with it, and eventually you'll get to a point where it's second nature to you, and you'll dive in. You'll get better cameras, better editing software if it's something you're interested in, and you want to do your own little channel. If you're interested in filming hunts for a living, like filming other hunters, it's hard because I get a lot of people that are say like, "Oh man, you got the dream job and all this stuff," and my response to them is, you like bow hunting, you like deer hunting.
Yep.
Because you're not going to get to do a lot of it.
Yeah.
I get to hunt 6 days a year, and it's with a rifle in November. That's so you got to be willing to, you got to kind of have that talk with yourself. how bad do you want to do this, and is it something you really want to do, and are you willing to sacrifice something you love for something else that you also love? What's more important to you?
Right.
You can come to grips with that, then do it. I mean, it's everyone's looking for camera guys in this industry to film hunts. You just got to be willing to be available. The guys that say yes all the time are the guys that get jobs.
Yep.
That's essentially what it is. You got to just be able to show up on time. People, you don't have to be the best either. You just come out, you're willing to work and willing to be available, and you'll have people there like me or whoever else you're working for to show you how to do it and what they're doing.
Yeah.
And you'll be good, man.
Yeah.
Just make those sacrifices.
Absolutely. I completely agree. Dude, it has been awesome having you on for this series. It's an honor talking to you, first of all. Like you said about how you have a dream job, like people are telling you that. You have an awesome job that, you know, a lot of people would love to have, put it that way. And dude, you made it, man. You made it to where you didn't necessarily want or thought you'd want to be how many years ago, but now you're there and it's like, man, you look back and it's like, holy shit. Like I made it, but like you also said, there's so much room for growth, right?
Yeah.
Like you always want to keep growing. If you stay in one spot, you're going to stay stagnant. You know, you want to kind of be a predator, not prey, and prey stay in one spot and don't move. So, I mean, I mean, you made it, dude. And
I have this Post-it note on my computer. I don't know if you can see that. I look at that every day when I sit down.
Yeah.
I don't know if people aren't watching. It says, remember when you dreamed about what you currently do.
Yeah.
And I look at that every morning, and that's all to what you said is if you look back 2 years ago, I'm where I want to be, but now that I'm here, I don't want to be here. I want to be there.
Yeah.
And you constantly just can't get complacent with yourself. You can't think you did it. Look at athletes. They don't do that. They get drafted. They're not, oh, I'm in the NFL. I'm done. I don't got to work out anymore.
Certain ones.
Certain ones do. You know, Caleb Williams is about to do. But,
Jamarcus Russell's another one.
Yeah. But you just got to keep going, man. You can't get complacent, you know, and that goes with everything, not just hunting. You know, the greatest gift God ever gave us was our mind, and we just got to use it, fill it up, man. You're never going to run out of space.
Absolutely. Yeah. Dude, where can people follow you and even Latitude at, and YouTube channel, all that kind of good stuff? Yeah,
so you can, a lot of the stuff that I create personally, if that's what you're into, on Latitude Outdoors, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube are Grit Season 2, which is going to be amazing. It's going to be coming out probably early fall, late summer this year.
Okay.
Not as early as it was last year, and we're going to have twice as many episodes, twice as many hunters. It's going to be incredible. My personal page is D-Rock Create on Instagram. I posted today a little behind the scenes. You're going to see a lot more of that from me. I'm going to start kind of showing how I do things and inspire someone to do something like that, or even reach out to me. And if you see something I'm doing that you have a suggestion I could do it better, reach out, and I'm always looking to take advice from anybody. But that's about it. And then I know Latitude has a podcast. The Method podcast just dropped. It's DJ Riley. He's a great self-filmer from Michigan. That's it. That's really all the channels for Latitude.
Cool, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming on here once again. It's an honor talking to you, and I can't wait to talk to you some more.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate you having me on. It was great.
Absolutely, dude.